If you were to ask a kid what they watched on YouTube, ignoring the possibility that their parent would tackle you for being a stranger talking to their child, it's more than likely that they would give a response centering on either Mr. Beast or YouTube Shorts. The days of the internet's shared monoculture, where kids grew up to have nostalgia for personalities such as Dante
Bloods versus
and Stampy Cat, is long gone. Now the sad reality is kids aren't ever going to bond over quoting ASDF movie or YouTube poops again. Many people find this a sign of the internet as a community dying, which, while comprehensive, is a bit of an overgeneralization, as instead the online sphere is splintered into countless niche online communities that are thriving in their own right, just beneath the surface. Hell, my own experience online has basically been purely through these communities, as I missed the golden age of the internet. One of the most fascinating communities that's adapted through the waves of cultural and platform changes, as well as encompassing a whole genre of animation that, while not having the mainstream recognition of creators like iShowSpeed or Mr. Beast, has still left an undeniable mark on online culture. In this video, I want to explore that community, how it grew and intertwined itself with the state of the internet, and that community is the Object Show community. Hello everybody, my name is Basil Blossom, or Pansexual Pillow, or the Power of Two! I'm just messing with you. Today I'm going to be talking about, like I said, the Object Show community. If you recognize my voice, hey, you probably either saw my TikTok or YouTube video on my side channels about this. We could get into that, but we're not going to. Animation on YouTube has had a rocky history, to put it mildly. Even today, the genre isn't anywhere near where it was. While it was an early staple on the platform, YouTube's algorithm shifted to prioritize view time and discourage misleading and low-quality content. With the exception of a few short films or maybe an animation or two you'd see, it's unlikely that you'd consistently be seeing a YouTube animator who has to compete to make more profitable content. I mean, how the hell are you going to compete with Think-a-Noodles now? Through the 2010s, innovations like storytime animation and, to an extent, animation memes brought some relief. Short-form content and YouTube Shorts
Fortnite.
I'm pregnant.
It's raining meatballs.
Offered a renaissance, but in the 2010s, most site users felt that strong independent personalities making animated content had vanished, as vlogs and Let's Plays took over. Despite the sad fact, a new form of content was growing out of sight, and, for many, out of mind. While it didn't have a Wikipedia page until recently, it still has built a cult following that's slowly spread across the internet and online culture throughout the years. This community is, like I said, the Object Show community. It enrolls creating media in the form of comics, art, and especially animation, featuring anthropomorphized objects living in their own world of ever objects. I've had to record this 3 times. Anthropomorphized. A cult movie, also known as a cult classic, is a movie that tends to acquire its notoriety not through initial success, such as in the case of fads like Star Wars or Pokemon, but through years of underground culture and fandom growing around it. Many movies from before our time, and almost all Edgar Wright films, are in this category. Scott Pilgrim started out as a box office failure, but now has millions of fans. In terms of YouTube stars, I'd put someone like Cybershell into this class. At the same time, he's gained a wider attention to the point where Sega's endorsed him to promote the new Sonic game. He's still relatively unknown to the broader YouTube community, yet he has a fandom that has stuck by him for more than a decade. I struggle to put channels like Jaden Animations and the odd ones out into this category as, while they built their audiences gradually, they are forerunners of the platform and subgenre they reside in, getting widespread attention. That may seem offhand, but object shows are in much of the same space. If you're somebody who grew up and engages with the sphere, it may seem massive. But ask your average middle schooler, and after insulting you in some form because they are mean people, they'd be left confused by what the hell you're talking about. In 2010, 2 brothers decided to break YouTube's terms of service for age and created a channel named Jack and Jellify. They uploaded some stuff for a bit, but then they uploaded a pivotal video that would change things forever. BFDI 1A Take the Plunge. Standing for Battle for Dream Island, this would start the Object Show community. Inspired by Total Drama Island, itself being a parody of reality game shows from the 2000s, the series featured contestants divided into teams competing in challenges for a prize.
I stopped at a Jack in the Box on the way here.
Its twist was using animated everyday objects as characters, leaves, coins, lightsabers that you'd find under your mom's bed, making the show memorable. This allowed for antics, slapsticks, and over-the-top events, with objects acting in unique and creatively exaggerated ways. In the same way BoJack Horseman is able to tackle serious themes using animal characters because it takes a bit of the weight off of it. You can have these characters kill, murder, betray each other, and it's all just fun because they're little cartoon object characters. Yay. Battle for Dream Island, which, as I said, is abbreviated to BFDI, gradually built a dedicated fanbase drawn to its distinct style and characters. The show now garners millions of views per episode, and even side videos garner the same notoriety. However, it took nearly a decade to surpass 1 million subscribers. Yet despite this, the object show fandom remains vigilant. In 2004, Valve Software, the creators of Steam, the largest video game platform on the internet, but that's a side note, released Half-Life 2, a fun game using the newly developed Source engine. From 2004 to present day, almost all Valve's mainstream games have run exclusively on the Source engine. But, despite how dated it may be, due to the engine's accessibility and ease of use in terms of modding and creating games, rather than individual communities developing for each game, a broader community formed around the engine itself. If you meet a Half-Life fan and Team Fortress fan, it's more than likely they have a lot more in common than they don't. The unique style of Battle for Dream Island caught on quickly as it was similarly easy to replicate and expand on. Entire shows that have continued to this day taking the same premise, style, and even characters to an extent, which leads to its own controversies, but that's silly. I mean, why do you start...
Oh my gosh, you used a water bottle for your show. Well, I had a water bottle first in mine.
That's a separate issue. How many shows have coins in them? Anyways, rather than individual communities forming for these shows, a larger object show community formed around what was quickly becoming a genre in its own right. You've likely seen an object show character in the wild, clicked on a YouTube video when you were a kid, or used in a middle school slideshow because of how it clouds up the Google search results. I mean, seriously. There's an entire Twitter page dedicated to this. I ended up meeting the guy by accident because all of my old, out of context object videos were just stolen from one of his pages. Woo! As the years went on, BFDI waned a bit before an eventual hiatus that lasted years, yet despite this pillar of the community falling, albeit temporarily, the greater community was still able to grow and succeed through the 2010s, thanks to the fan base that it had cultivated through an appreciation of the genre rather than one single show. Had this been any other show or community, it would have died off without its leader, sort of like a certain political party in a few months. But due to shows like Inanimate Insanity 1 and whatever the Fuse of Animates is making, the community still grew. It grew like Despicable Me. It grew despite not having a leader. Anyways, that being said, the show's community continued to grow and intertwined itself into internet culture, where many animators got their start, and the art style has become the bane of any Google search result and YouTube thumbnail. And look at the smile, you've probably seen it everywhere. YouTube content is unpredictable unless you're willing to play by the unspoken rules or sell your soul for the chance of virality at the cost of creative freedom. It's unlikely you'll achieve any mainstream success. Yet, the object show community proves there's still room for niche creativity that thrives beneath the surface, having success in its own right. Through its unique premise, enduring appeal, this community has built a passionate following, not to the scale of Game Theory or Mr. Beast, but impressive in its own right. Ultimately, the object show phenomenon highlights how internet subcultures can still foster connection, creativity, and belonging, even in an era dominated by algorithmic focus. The monoculture may be dead, but the community isn't. Have fun. Hey everybody, my name is Basil Blossom, or Pansexual Pillow, and thank you for watching this video. As you can see, I did a bit of rebranding around the channel, and I'm trying some new content. Don't worry, object show content should continue for a bit, but I do want to branch out a bit more. I'll see what you guys like. Till next time.